Greetings everybody, my name is Travis Guzzi. I'm the Mission Engagement Facilitator for the Central Region, the Southeastern District, and it is a joy and privilege to once again bring this latest edition of the iGo vlog to you, to empower you as everyday missionaries, to connect with your neighbors in love and service in order to connect people to Jesus. Well, what I want to do is talk about a very timely topic, and that is how yesterday we saw the inauguration of a new president. We saw President Trump leave office, and President Joe Biden was sworn in as our next president here in the United States. And we see how over the centuries we have had this peaceful transfer of power from one administration to the next that is unlike any other nation in the world. But what I want to talk about is not so much about politics, but how do we as kingdom representatives, how do we love and serve people in these hyper-partisan times that we see political and social division in our world today, and especially in our conversations on social media. And to guide us in our thinking, I want to take these words from the Apostle Paul from Romans chapter 12. Starting in verse 1, Paul says, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer yourselves as living sacrifices, holy and acceptable to God, that this is your true and proper worship. He says, consider how Jesus gave his life for you by his life, his death, and his resurrection, how he freed you from sin and brought you life that leads into eternity. And in response to how Jesus gave his life for you, offer yourself as a living sacrifices. This is your true spiritual worship. And what this does is it broadens our perspective of worship rather than just a 1 hour thing we do on a Sunday morning. That is a life of response, of loving God the way that he loved us and to love our neighbors as ourselves. And with this perspective, Paul goes on and says, don't be conformed to the pattern of this world, but instead to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you're going to be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. He says if you want to know what God's will is for you as his kingdom representative, is don't be conformed to the pattern of this world. This pattern of the world that seems to divide us and define our identity of whether we're on the right or the left, whether we're conservative or liberal, Republican or Democrat. Instead, we're supposed to have this higher kingdom perspective. We are sons and daughters of the King. And with that, we recognize that Jesus' kingdom is not of this world. It is above it. And it is this higher identity that is supposed to inform our actions of how do we engage in conversations in politically divisive times as we seek to love and serve others. We don't do it as Republican or Democrat. We do it as sons and daughters of the King. Paul goes on, and this is our charge as these kingdom representatives. From Romans 12:9, he says, your love must be sincere. Hate what is evil, yes. Cling to what is good. It doesn't mean we compromise our beliefs, our convictions, especially our faith convictions. But we are supposed to be devoted to one another in love and honor one another above ourselves. That yes, even though we have convictions, we may even have strong political convictions, but what is supposed to define all of our interactions is this love that is sincere, this love that honors others above even ourselves. And what we seek is not always to prove that we are right, but to make sure that we are right in our relationships and interactions with other people. And so he goes on, and this is really where Paul brings it home for us as we consider how we love and serve during these politically charged times. He says in Romans 12:14 through 16, bless those who persecute you, bless, do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn, live in harmony with one another. Let's face it, even on social media, you may get a lot of pushback for your thoughts and your perspectives. But instead of responding in kind, we're called to bless even those who persecute us, even those who may attack us, even those who may seek to cancel us. We are supposed to respond in a different way, with love and as kingdom representatives. That we're called to bless, not curse. We're supposed to rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. You know, I know that for some of you, you may be excited that President Biden is now our president of the United States, and that's okay. But I would encourage you to think about how you engage with others that especially on social media, not everybody may be sharing your enthusiasm. And so have some sensitivity with that and remember your higher kingdom identity. Some of you right now, you may be mourning the outcome. You really wanted President Trump to win, and you're concerned about the future of our country. It's okay to feel that way, but don't respond in anger with others who may be rejoicing. That we need to make sure that we have a balanced, proper perspective, a kingdom perspective, as we come to these conversations and these kind of dialogues. And ultimately, what we are seeking is to live in harmony. And so my encouragement is this can be a great opportunity for you as a kingdom representative. That if you know, especially if somebody is mourning, that they have lost hope of what the future of our country is because of the outcome of an election, that you can reach out to them. And maybe you don't share the right politics, the same politics with each other, but make sure that you reach out as not only another human being who cares for them, but as that kingdom representative. That you are there to be God's agent, to be His blessing, to love and serve them, to let them know that they are not alone, that God is near, that there is hope, not only for tomorrow, but ultimately that there is a hope that when Jesus comes again, all of this political division, all this stuff that we get so anxious about and uptight about is one day going to be behind us, and that He is going to make all things new, and that He is bringing us together, He is healing our divisions, and that can even begin even now, to let them know that this God who loves us so much in Jesus that He would give Himself is there for them, and that you are there for them as well. He loves them, and you love them just as much. And that way you can be His presence in these times in which they're struggling and they're hurting. I hope that this helps maybe give you a different perspective of how do we engage as representatives of Jesus in these times, how we can love and serve even with the political divisions that we have. I'm not saying it's easy, but it does serve as a guide, these words of Paul from Romans 12, for our interactions to be that blessing that God intends us to be. If you have any other thoughts or questions about what I've shared today, feel free to reach out to me. Happy to answer that. And with that, I want to wish you all God's richest blessings as we will catch you next time for our next iGo vlog. Take care, everybody.